Good morning, everyone. Excuse me. Brian here with BMK Retro Gaming. This morning I have for us the three-way comparison contrast video of Othello for the Atari VCS 2600, Reversi or Reversi for the IntelliVision, both original library ports, and Reversi or Reversi for the ColecoVision, a homebrew. Now, instead of being necessarily ports, these are three different versions of the game. They have a lot in common, as they're basically versions of the same game, though they do have some differences. How do they compare and contrast? Well, we're going to take a look into that and find out here this morning. I will point out that a Facebook friend of mine, Wallace Lang, had asserted after I did the review of Othello, or about the time I had announced this three-way comparison contrast, that there may be some relationship to the old Japanese game Go. Well, with that one, it technically was developed in Japan about 2,500 years back, allegedly. And although the pieces are similar, it's played on a different board. And the objective of the game is different in terms of, with Go, the objective is to maneuver and surround your opponent until they are surrounded in an inescapable manner, somewhat similar to chess. Whereas with Othello or Reversi, the objective is basically just to outflank your opponent until you dominate the board. So that's one difference. Another one is that Reversi was originally developed in England by two men named Lewis Waterman and John W. Mollett, who both accused the others of being frauds, in 1883. And then later on, it was in Japan, a businessman, Goro Hasegawa, Hasegawa, developed his version called Othello in 1971 for Othello, and it made its way to America in 1975, while Reversi was the one that was done in England first. Now, as for, like, say, the games, that's on the board game side. Now, for the video game versions, although Ted Dabney and Nolan Bushnell were known in their college days to enjoy playing the Japanese game Go, I couldn't find any evidence that the Othello had any real influence from it. Though we could possibly speculate, and it is only speculation, that they also enjoy playing similar games like Othello and Reversi or Reversi. And that may have been some inspiration for why a video game adaptation was done. Well, it kind of made sense, but again, that's all still pure speculation. But I could not find any evidence that the Japanese game Go played a factor in. This is basically just a straight video game adaptation of Othello, which is pretty much the same as Reversi for the most part. Of course, other differences, we can point out is the Othello was developed in 1980 for Atari Inc. by Ed Logg and Carol Shaw. And Reversi, or Reversi for the IntelliVision, was developed in 1981 by Mattel and released by them. Don't know who the developer working on it was. And of course, Reversi or Reversi for the ColecoVision, the homebrew, was developed by Amy Purple, or Amy Marie Buenvenu, who was formerly known as Daniel Buenvenu, in about 2004, so they're all fairly similar in a way. They play mostly the same. As for, like with the original library ports or versions, Othello and Reversi, obviously Atari was able to get some licensing rights to use the name Othello, And well, with IntelliVision, maybe Mattel couldn't. Maybe it proved too expensive, or maybe they just wanted to use the name Reversi because it was older, more known, and they wanted to stand out in their particular version from the Atari VCS 2600 Othello. Who knows? Uh, Again, that's all pretty much speculation. Anyway, they play mostly similarly, and quite honestly, although I learned on the board game with my adoptive father and my adoptive grandfather on my mother's side, both having it and teaching me, and me thinking, with Othello at least, it comes on a green game board with, I believe it's one or two plastic tubes which hold the game pieces in it when you're not playing it and just storing it. I always thought that looked pretty cool, but I've never been great at the game, so as it goes, what you guys are probably about to do is watch me get beaten at 3 different versions of the same game. So enjoy. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get set up with my Mattel IntelliVision 2 with IntelliVision System Changer, so we can go ahead and take a look at Othello. Then we'll switch over to my Mattel IntelliVision 2 for Reversi for the IntelliVision. And then I'll switch to the ColecoVision Phoenix for the Reversi on the ColecoVision. So give me just a moment to set up and we'll take a look into the gameplay. Okay, so here we go, starting it off with the Atari VCS 2600 original library game Othello. I've got it set up so set in B position for right difficulty and A position for left difficulty, so black should go first like the rules usually would be in any official competition. And also, so it will play a straight game rather than just do positions, which is an interesting thing it will do if you set it up that way. Again, I've never been good at this game really, so expect no miracles. Then again, I could manage to do okay with it. Who knows? Okay, go here. Again, the objective is basically to dominate the board by outflanking your opponent, which can be a bit of a challenge, really. Never been an easy one for me, anyway. Here we can see, graphically speaking, the game basically plays in a manner which is, check my volume there. The game normally has round pieces, but the Atari VCS 2600 would not have been good at doing that shape, so we got squares, which is not really bad or anything, but different, to say the least about it. And it gives you that sound every time that you make a move, or try to make a move that you're not supposed to. Not much of any sound to it really other than that, and it looks graphically okay for what it is, but otherwise kind of obvious it could have been done a bit differently, maybe. You want to try for corner spots and stuff like that, which are hard to maneuver around or out of, really, so. Again, graphically with the square pieces as opposed to them being technically round game pieces is different, but you know, the Atari VCS 2600 was better. Not very good at drawing spherical or circular shapes all that well, so not really something to be unexpected. It could do squares, triangles, and rectangles well, but not really all that good at the rest of it. At least square, something like a circle or sphere would have been a tough one for it. I'm actually winning this one. Guess I've been improving some. Darn you. Well, he can say goodnight here because I don't think he's got to move to save himself. Nope. Ha! Managed to beat him 54-10. Not too shabby. Anyway, that's Othello, basically. Surprised I managed to win it. Anyway, let me guess, reset up for the, with the Mattel IntelliVision 2 for the IntelliVision Reversi, or Reversi. Okay, so here we go with the Reversi for the IntelliVision. Let's see, is it 7? Okay, yeah. There we go. Skill level 1, 2 players, and I'm white instead of black here for some reason. And I picked the largest board size because why not? On this one thing with Reversi or Reversi is you always have to fill out the 4 immediate squares that make up the middle, which you have to do with other versions of the game, I guess, too, but this one we can see the board is purple and gray, a bit different colored there, so not quite as, well, it's got that distinct difference to it, you know. It's still, if you try it, it has this sound if you make it, and tells you you're making an illegal move. The thing with this one is you have different board sizes. You have a smaller board size, a larger one, and all that, you know. This is the 10x10 board, if I'm not mistaken. And you have up to an hour's time to play, though you probably won't need that much. It's cool in that you have a little more options, and it's got a little bit more sounds as you can hear the little da-da-da. It's a little bit more graphically pleasing, I guess you could say. Sounds a tad bit better, and is not a bad game whatsoever as far as I'm concerned, though. This particular porter version is, to say the very least, a little bit of a strange one. It's a good one, though. I can personally say that I enjoy it pretty well, so there is that. It's also a bit tough, as it will give you kind of a hard time trying to figure it out. Starting to overtake me a bit here, unfortunately. Such will happen, though. Ah. Don't think so. Darn. It nailed me from every corner there. Nope, can't do that one either yet, huh? Must have blocked him out there, I guess. Ha! He's got me. Well, I tried. 7921 still. Okay. Anyway, that's the IntelliVision version. Let me guess, reset up and we'll check out the ColecoVision version. Okay, so here we go with the ColecoVision homebrew version of Reversi or Reversi. go, switched over pretty quick. As we can see here, it also has the bonus game Diamond Dash, but we're really only here for Reversi, or Reversi, so we're going to select one player and go ahead and get moving. This one here we can see is more or less the most graphically pleasing, pretty much. We can see here it also offers very easily some suggestions for where you might play at. The pieces are all round. The board is green, and it has a pretty good score keeping on the screen right there. So I'm black versus white, so as you can probably guess. Sounds here are pretty nice, but simple enough too. It's workable. And this is on easy mode of all things. It's going to give me another shot at it. Well, I'll try. And still no luck. Oh well. I think the guys pretty much well get the idea. Don't want to drag this out for too long. Okay, so those were the versions of Othello for the Atari VCS 2600 and Reversi or Reversi for the original library title for the IntelliVision and the Reversi or Reversi homebrew for the ColecoVision. All of them I think are pretty good in my view. If you like board games like that, video game adaptions. Some do, some find them to be rather boring. Me, I enjoy them, even though I hardly ever win at this particular one. Well, I did win 1 out of 3, so. Anyway, they're all pretty good, and which one, if any, is actually better? Well, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide for yourselves. Me, I don't really much care. I think they're all pretty good. I mean, the Atari VCS 2600 version with these square pieces is okay, even though, you know, for being, that's not the best graphical presentation, maybe. While the different color board with the IntelliVision version is pretty good. And clearly the ColecoVision homebrew version is quite possibly the best looking and with possibly the better sounds, and it's, of course, newer. As a matter of fact, I recall in one of my ColecoVision Facebook groups, at least one person let me know that they decided to go ahead and buy a copy from the Atari Age store where you could find them. I'm not sure if they're still there now or not. And pretty much shows, yeah, it's pretty good. And also for the Diamond Dash minigame is another incentive on that one. But I think, you know, whether you go with what the Atari VCS 2600 Othello original library game, the Reversi IntelliVision original library game, or the homebrew ColecoVision Reversi with Diamond Dash, you're going to be getting a pretty good playable game of Othello Reversi either way. So really, you can't go wrong with any of the three, in my view. So decide for yourselves which one, if any of the three, you would like better. Anyway, I do have one recommendation and link for you guys. That's my friend Brian Puddin with his channel Brian's Man Cave has a pretty nice video comparing and contrasting the Atari VCS 2600 original title Othello with the IntelliVision original title Reversi or Reversi. And that was actually pretty informative for me. I was also able to comment and give him a little more of the history of the behind the board games, which he wasn't so familiar with, so it was fun. So there's that one. That's about it on that, though. Let's see. Big shout out to my Atari 2600 Facebook group, my IntelliVision Invasion Facebook group, my ColecoVision World Facebook group, and my ColecoVision and Atom Fanatics Facebook group. Love you guys all in all those groups, and y'all should be getting this before too terribly long later this morning, hopefully. Though, since it's going to be close to a half-hour video upload, might take a little bit. Anyway, also keep your eyes peeled because coming up Sunday, I do have the prototype Pro Brew or Homebrew review coming up. Those who watch my announcement post should know what it's going to be already, so check that out. And if you enjoy my channel's content, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And please don't hesitate to leave any questions, comments, or suggestions down in the comments section below. You guys take care, have a wonderful Friday, and hopefully I will see everyone back here again this coming Sunday.